Organic craft brewing, making beer with organic hops, malt, and yeast. This subject is both intriguing and thorough. Using only certified organic ingredients to produce beer of the highest quality is a fulfilling craft that adheres to the tenets of sustainability and purity. I will offer a thorough, step-by-step tutorial to organic craft brewing, with an emphasis on the essential steps and factors that are specific to using organic ingredients. A step-by-step guide to organic craft brewing. 1. Choosing the ingredients, the organic base. The first and most important step in organic craft brewing is obtaining ingredients that are certified organic. This serves as the basis for guaranteeing that your beer is free of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, pesticides, and herbicides. Malt that is organic. The foundation of your beer is malt, which gives it color, taste, body, and most importantly, the fermentable sugars. Search for certified organic maltsters as your source. Organic two-row barley or organic Pilsner malt are examples of common base malts that are available in organic form. Flavor profile. Organic malts often have a cleaner flavor and can provide a more sophisticated flavor profile that emphasizes the grain's intrinsic attributes. Storage. To keep organic malt fresh and avoid contamination, always keep it in a sealed, cool, and dry container. Organic hops. Hops function as a natural preservative, imparting aroma and bitterness. Source. Organic hops are becoming more readily available, although finding them can occasionally be difficult depending on the type. Popular organic types include organic Cascade, organic Centennial, and organic Fuggle. Potency. Although organic hops are chemically identical to conventional hops, some brewers believe they have a cleaner, more distinct aroma, free from any potential chemical residues that may hide delicate nuances. Storage. To prevent degradation and preserve the volatile oils, keep the hops in the freezer in a vacuum-sealed bag. Organic yeast. It must be used correctly in an organic beer, even though it is not always certified organic itself, because yeast is a live thing and certification can be difficult. Selection, pick a premium brewer's yeast, liquid or dry, that matches your style, e.g. Saccharomyces cerevisiae for ales. Purity. For the cleanest results, make sure the yeast comes from a trustworthy source and, if possible, is not cultivated on a non-organic medium. A beer must either adhere to strict organic regulations in the yeast itself or have fewer than a certain amount of non-organic components in order to be officially USDA certified organic. Water. Even if it's often thought of as an external input, water is essential. Cleanliness. Use filtered water for a pure taste. Although tap water is okay, be wary of any chemical treatments such chlorine, which can produce strange tastes. Mineral profile. Change the mineral composition of the water to match the beer type. Using food grade, non-GMO salts if necessary, but always put cleanliness first. 2, the brewing process. Lautering and mashing. Organic beer is produced using the same basic procedures as traditional brewing, but with a greater emphasis on hygiene and careful handling in order to maintain the integrity of the components. Mashing. The method of steeping the crushed organic malt in hot water to activate naturally occurring enzymes that break down complex starches into simple fermentable sugars is known as mashing. Crushing. Make sure your organic malt is correctly crushed, milled right before mashing to expose the starches without shredding the husks, which will be needed later for filtering. Temperature control. It is essential to maintain a consistent temperature. For instance, a rest between 148 degrees Celsius and 152 degrees Fahrenheit, 64 degrees Celsius to 67 degrees Celsius, encourages the formation of sugars that are easily fermentable, which results in a less dry beer. A fuller-bodied beer is produced by letting it rest between 154 degrees Fahrenheit and 162 degrees Fahrenheit, 68 degrees Celsius, and 72 degrees Celsius. Time. A mash usually takes between 60 and 90 minutes to complete. Sparging and lautering. Following crushing, the sweet liquid, now known as wort, must be separated from the spent grain, the mash solids. This is accomplished by sparging and lautering. Lautering is the process of removing the wort from the mash tun, typically using the natural filter bed made by the organic grain husks. To prevent packing the grain bed, begin cautiously. Sparging. Using hot water, 168 degrees Fahrenheit or 76 degrees Celsius, to rinse the grain bed in order to remove leftover sugars. The temperature of this water must be sufficient to effectively dissolve the sugars without also dissolving undesirable tannins from the organic grain husks, which would give it an astringent taste. 3. Boiling and jumping. The boil is the next significant stage, which has several functions. It kills bacteria in the wort, concentrates the sugars, gets rid of undesirable volatile chemicals, and most importantly, draws out the bitterness and flavor from the organic hops. Boil. Time. The typical boil lasts for 60 minutes, but certain varieties need 90 minutes. Additions of hops. Organic hops are frequently added at various points during the process to achieve specific results. Bittering hops are introduced at the beginning of the boil on a 60 minutes left to release alpha acids and impart bitterness. Flavor hops added halfway through the boiling process, 15 to 30 minutes left, to provide a well-balanced flavor. Aroma hops. To keep the delicate volatile essential oils that give the distinctive aroma, add them at the conclusion of the boil, 0 to 5 minutes left, or after the flame is extinguished. Martbund's Whirlpool edition. Paying close attention to these late additions is essential because organic hops are frequently valued for their pure, bright aromas. Clarification, Whirlpool light. The wort is quickly agitated, a whirlpool following the boil to concentrate hop waste and precipitated proteins trub into a cone at the kettle center, which facilitates the separation of the clean wort. 4. Cooling and throwing. The most crucial point for preventing bacterial infection and guaranteeing a flawless fermentation is at this stage. Refrigerating. The hot wort needs to be quickly cooled in 15-30 minutes from boiling to the pitching temperature, which is the ideal temperature for the particular yeast strain. For a light yeast, this is usually between 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius to 22 degrees Celsius. Quick cooling helps to create a clear beer by reducing the risk of microbial infection, referred to as the cold break. Use a wort chiller, such as an immersion or plate chiller. Hygiene. Every component that comes into contact with the wort after the boil, fermenter, chiller, thermometer, airlock, must be thoroughly cleaned. This implies that the organic brewer must utilize approved non-toxic sanitizers and make sure that the rinse is complete in order to avoid chemical leftovers from affecting the organic purity or the yeast. Aeration and pitching. The wort needs oxygen to support the yeast's healthy reproduction after it has cooled. This is frequently accomplished by aerating the fermenter with a hygienic aeration stone or by shaking it. Introduce the yeast into the wort right away after aeration. For a successful organic fermentation, the yeast starter must be of high quality and in good health. 5. Fermentation and conditioning. The magic occurs during fermentation when the yeast breaks down the organic sugars produced during the mash and generates alcohol, carbon dioxide, and a variety of intricate flavor molecules. Temperature control. Keep the fermentation temperature at the target level. Changes can put stress on the yeast, resulting in undesirable flavors such as too much diacetyl, buttery, or acetaldehyde, green apple. Particularly with organic ingredients where you want the malts and hops purity to come through, a separate fermentation chamber or temperature controller is strongly advised. Time. The main fermentation process typically takes between 1 and 3 weeks. A hydrometer can be used to monitor changes in specific gravity, which indicates when fermentation is finished. The gravity reading remains constant. Conditioning, lagering, or aging. Frequently, the beer is conditioned following the main fermentation. This may include a few more weeks for ales at slightly lower temperatures to allow the sediment to settle and the taste to mellow. This entails a longer, colder maturation period. Lagering for lagers in order to soften the taste profile. 6. Packaging, enjoyment, and carbonation clarity. Carefully move the beer racking to a bottling bucket or keg, making sure to leave the yeast sediment, trub, behind. Carbonation. In order to be refreshing, beer must contain carbon dioxide. Kegging. The quickest and most accurate method is forced carbonation in a keg. Bottling. Prior to bottling, add a specific amount of organic priming sugar, cane sugar, or corn sugar to the beer. The remaining live yeast will naturally generate carbonation by consuming this sugar inside the sealed bottle. Patience. Give bottled beer 2 to 3 weeks at room temperature for proper natural carbonation. Prioritizing the purity and quality of your organic components and following these guidelines carefully will help you create a beer that is both delicious and a reflection of environmentally friendly and high-quality brewing techniques.